Hello my dear friends, today let's take a look at Bitcoin once again. Since our previous video we discussed that there is high probability that Bitcoin is going to climb up until we meet this double resistance here. This is my favorite pattern to play and to predict, to analyze. So basically we needed to meet this Kijun resistance, and I said that there's a high possibility that we can slightly break this Kijun resistance, but the 50 moving average should stay strong and secure this resistance, this zone, and probably we will reject here and reverse. And as you can see, this is exactly what happened. The 50 moving average held strongly, and the only bullish scenario I told you that we will have only if we break the 50 moving average with a strong move and start chopping right here and retest Kijun and 50 moving average as support, and then it is a long situation here and we are sending higher. But this didn't happen, and our primary scenario here that we were expecting, the reversal here, played out. And of course, probably a lot of people are expecting what is going to happen next, and this is a quite a vulnerable and uncertain situation in general, because on the weekly we have, okay, the weekly is still bullish in my opinion, because as I told you before, as long as this super trend remains untouched, like here, we didn't break it, so basically as long as we hold above it, it still remains bullish, as long as this super trend support is not broken. But as you can see, if we look at the monthly time frame, we don't have any bullish candles here actually, because depending on how this monthly is going to close, and it is going to happen in 5 days, yeah. So basically we have this is potentially a reversal candle, reversal red candle. So basically we don't know what is going to happen next, whether we will buy back until the end of the month this candle and it will look more attractively. But what is clear to me, if we are closing like this, which is quite likely at this moment, so basically the new monthly is going to open, and depending in which direction it is going to go, it will define whether we are reversing on the macro level here or not. Because if we start with the climbing, there is high probability that this is going to be our resistance, and it will draw a huge tail that will be squeezed back down if we start the month with the ascending movement. But if we try to go something like this, we start with the descending retest of our previous zone as support, and then we buy back with a strength. So basically definitely we can start drawing something like that. So this is one thing that we need to follow. And but what about the local and more midterm local situation? What should we expect here? Basically I'm expecting some kind of course, you know that who follows me long enough, usually these situations like this, when we lose the Kijun, daily Kijun, and here, when we lose it, retest it, this is a sign that we retested this liquidity. The price moves from liquidity to liquidity, and if we are back to this liquidity, previous liquidity that we had here, the traded zones, and we get rejected, it means that we didn't find any buying liquidity and buying open interest. So this means that if we didn't find it upon the 50 moving average, the price goes straight to the 200 moving average, not necessarily in a straight way, probably something like this, but we are meeting this 200 moving average, and this is where we find our next liquidity, and this is where we need to bid to buy. But whether it is going to be like that this time, for now I doubt that it is going to be such a huge sell-off into the 200 moving average support. And even if we reach this 200 moving average, it is going to be through the huge chopping price action. Basically, if we do something like this, we retest 60,000 again, and we try to recover probably into the monthly closing or monthly opening, and basically then we can do something like that, or maybe up to this zone. So, and if we reclaim Kijun here again, then definitely the situation flips and we close above the 50 moving average, the situation flips into the bullish one. So basically for now I am looking into the retest of 60,000, maybe $59,000, and I have got a confirmation for that. Let's take a look at the macro situation. I have another chart from my previous years of my trading, of course, since 2018, and I've got this old macro chart, and let's take a look at it. And we are going to open it on the logarithmic, not regular, but logarithmic chart. And what can we see here? Let's take a look at it. This chart, we have this global, it is not only like we have these global trend lines. As you can see, I have my trend lines and they work perfectly each cycle on the macro level. Basically, this line in 2021 told me that this 2020 trend line told me that we have reached the top and the market is going into a bearish phase here upon this trend line when we touched it and couldn't break it and go through it. That definitely meant for me that the bull run is over and we reached the cycle stop. And let's take a look at another one. We have this double trend line that lasts from August of 2015. It is a long one and it proved to be a very important double trend line. Why it is double? Because the higher purple line, trend line, it is the one that we touched more often and felt as support. And the lower one, also the purple 2015, I will call it 2015 trend line, it is also one that works, but at the rare times when we have these squeezes. And as you can see, the lower one, it secures the first one, and if the first one didn't hold, the second one holds each time. As you can see, we held here for the first time, then we held here for the second time, and we tried to hold it during the bear market in 2022 here, but we lost it for the first time since the inception of Bitcoin trading here, and we lost this double support. And as you can see, it worked perfectly since we lost it. It worked perfectly as resistance here, resistance, try to break it, then back down, resistance, again resistance when we were proving the Bitcoin ETFs, and when we finally broke it, then definitely it became bullish. But what is interesting here, the interesting part here, that after the 2022 bear market and all of this situation, we were in the Bitcoin was in the bear market, and now it finally reclaimed this double global 2015 trend line. And what are we doing right now? Why the price is holding so nicely above $59,000? We didn't go lower since the market broke above it, as you can see. And now it is clear to me that we have this global trend line that on the logarithmic chart, and these lines work perfectly. and few people know about it. And as you can see, they showed the real global support levels, or not only support or resistance levels, the levels, the psychological, the huge levels of interest that really work. And that is why we are holding so good above $58,000. And now I think that, and it is another confirmation for me, that if Bitcoin holds this line, then, and we can retest it. Definitely this week we need to retest it. Try to retest it at least 16,000, 59. I don't know if we reach the $59,000, but $60,000 would be great, somewhere there. And if we reverse here and hold it, then definitely it is a bullish situation, because we currently we are retesting this lower purple line of the ultimate support here. So basically, if we hold it during this chop, during this time, then definitely Bitcoin is going higher, and it confirms that we secured this line significantly, and we go higher. And if it doesn't happen, and eventually, probably next month, if next month Bitcoin loses these two purple lines, and definitely the price can go, if we don't do like this, but we lose it, close below it, retest it, and definitely we go lower to 48, 47, somewhere there, at least to this zone. This will be the next global support zone. So, but for now, I'm sticking to the scenario where Bitcoin holds this double 2015 trend line. Let's switch to the daily time frame. As you can see, also this double trend line, it looks like it held like as the resistance for many times, and as soon as we broke above it, then we went up without even trading in a huge move, and then we secured this area, this level. As you can see, we precisely only once we lost it, but we have this second supporting line of the ultimate supporting line here. And as you can see, the mechanics here are very clear, and to build these lines is very easy on a logarithmic chart on the weekly or daily time frame. On the weekly time frame, so basically we can do something like this, and if we hold it, then definitely it is going higher. We are reversing. If not, if we lose this double trend line, this lower 2015 trend line retested, if we do not reclaim it like this, if we retest it and get rejected here, then definitely it goes lower into the mid range or this red line. So basically the mechanics here are clear, in my opinion. And for now, I stick with the scenario where we are retesting 60s, but 59,000, 60,000, but somewhere there, maybe even higher than 60,000, maybe 61, who knows. But I'm sticking with this scenario that we will hold it for now. But you need to understand and expect a possible dip, the continuation dip after we got rejected here in the coming days. And if in the coming days we have this dip into 60s at least, and we get bought back fast, then definitely it can be a good sign. And I would start bidding if we have the approach. I would start buying some altcoins if the Bitcoin starts approaching 60s or $59,000. So this is what I wanted to share with you. And also, why is this possible that the Bitcoin and all this chop can be beneficial for some altcoins? Some altcoins during the recent flush, they reached almost reached their all-time lows. And of course, another flush and another huge movement from Bitcoin would direct them into these all-time lows. So who knows what is going to happen here, but we have our plan and scenario here. But let's take a look at the Bitcoin domination. And everybody's talking, I know everybody's talking about it, and probably it will not work because of that precisely. So as you can see, each time when Bitcoin domination started to decline, as you can see, January of 2021, we will look at our chart right now. And we have approached this counter trend line, the purple counter trend line. Maybe we'll have another final push and then reversal, or maybe we will start reversing and retesting and doing something like this on the Bitcoin domination chart. And usually these moments when Bitcoin starts declining and the Bitcoin domination starts falling, there are two type of scenarios. Either altcoins follow and have another wave down and final wave down, or they start, if Bitcoin is not too volatile without 8-10% spilling candles, then altcoins feel freedom, they feel relief, and they start pumping. And probably they can start pumping even without the further flush, another wave. And this happened in January of 2021. We don't know what happened here because we don't have the history on Total 3, what has happened when Bitcoin started declining in 2017. But we have this story and we have almost have this story, but it is 3 months late. But in 2021, on January 4th, 2021, when the Bitcoin domination started to decline significantly, as you can see, the bull run on the altcoins started actually. So basically, what do we have right now? I already drew some from my tweets. There is some situation here. So basically, we are retesting this, and we have this also on the Total 3, the altcoin market cap. We have this 2020 trend line. So basically, if we and we have ATR support here. So basically, if we retest it right now this week and hold it, do something like this, maybe retest it again, and we hold it, then probably we can do something like that and retest the previous high zone. And if we get rejected here, probably can be true if Bitcoin continues to go lower, then definitely we will retest it and do something like that, or do something like this even, and then find support at the 2020 trend line, global trend line, and and finally we start the alt season here, or upon the range line 616 billion, or around 530 550. So basically, these are my expectations for the altcoin season, when it is going to happen, as long as we hold this line. So if this was useful, press the like button. Goodbye, guys.